What is going on, fitness coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives Make Money on the Trainer podcast. It's your boy, Brian Mark. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the fact that your goals are too fucking small. Goals are too small. Your biggest downfall in life is not that you set a goal too big and you miss. Your biggest downfall in life is that you set a goal too small and you hit. Shit, son. So I'm in Calgary right now to write the book. And one of my clients that's been with me for 4 years reached out. Every single time I come to Calgary, he reaches out. His name's Brian. He's a fucking G. I always say no because I came to Calgary to lock in, but I admire the man's persistence. So my client, Brian, reached out, and I think this was like the fourth time he asked me to hang out while I was in Calgary. And finally, I was like, okay, let's fucking do it. Like, meet me at the gym at this time. So met Brian at the gym, and we were talking about his business. So Brian's been with me for 4 years now, and his content recently started popping off on social media. And so we were just discussing like his goals and what he'd like to achieve. And don't get me wrong, Brian's actually done amazing in the last, few months, especially is when his Instagram account really started to pop off. He was stuck at 4,000 followers forever. Now he's sitting around 8,900 followers and he's about to hit 10K. So we were talking about his goals. And I was like, what are your goals for your Instagram? He's like, yeah, man. I'm like, yeah, I'm hoping to hit 10K by the end of this month. And I was like, 10K followers by the end of the month? He's like, yeah. I was like, why don't you hit it by the end of next week? He's like, what? I was like, why are your goals so low? He's like, what do you mean? I was like, why are the goals so small? Like, why don't you hit it by the end of next week? He's like, and I was like, how many times a day are you posting? Because now it's like, you guys have heard me before on the podcast discuss this idea of like, first you got to get consistent, then you get good. So consistency, quality, then volume. So Brian's consistent and his content's good because it's starting to pop off. He's starting to get followers, but the volume's not there. So I'm like, why are you not posting twice a day? He's like, well, I don't know. I was like, and I'll tell you why, because your goals are too fucking small. Guys, I was talking to Nick about this on the way home after the conversation with Brian. And I was like, bro, it actually fucks me up how many of you guys struggle with this idea of the only reason that you haven't achieved crazy things in your life is because you never aim for them. Like your goals are way too fucking small, dude. All of you. It doesn't matter what level you're at. I promise you, your goals are way too small. And this is a mindset that I keep for myself and this is why I surround myself with people that are 5 steps ahead of me, is because I know that what's good for me is like Peasantville for somebody like Ed Milet. Like my best year compared to somebody like Ed Milet or Andy Frisella, who does 100 to 200 to 500 million a year. I know that my best year is like Andy Frisella had that level of year. Like he would be fucking filing for bankruptcy. And so I think that my goals are too small, which is why I force myself into evolution, which is why I'm here right now. Like I'm at this fucking condo locked into this apartment building. We're 42,000 words deep into this fucking book. We are balls deep in this book and we're going deeper. And the reason I'm doing that is because I know that the life that I'm living right now is too fucking small in comparison to what I could be living. And so I need to think bigger. All of the goals that you've set for your online coaching business are way too fucking small. All of them. All of the goals that you set for your life are way too fucking small. And I can say that with absolute confidence and certainty because coming from a dude that was sleeping on my grandmother's couch 11 years ago to being able to deliver this message to you guys with over 300,000 followers on Instagram, 100,000 downloads a month on the podcast. YouTube is growing fucking consistently. We've got 1,800 active paying clients right now, $10 million in revenue last year, $30 million in sales. I'm a fucking nobody, okay? Literally a nobody. I started from nothing. I was this fucking dude living in my grandma's trailer, and now I'm running a multi-million dollar empire. And I've got one of the biggest and best gyms in Canada. I'm a fucking nobody, okay? I am a nobody that came from nothing. And so like the idea of you can do anything you set your fucking mind to needs to be apparent. And so all of the goals that you've written down that you want to accomplish for the year, why don't you try accomplishing them within the next 30, 60, 90 days? Like, why don't we just shorten the time horizon? I was talking to somebody about the book the other day, and somebody's like, well, like, what's your like plan for like the book? Like, what are you going to do with it? Like, obviously you're writing it. Like, what's the goal? And I was like, typically speaking, this is how writing books goes, right? So like most people, when they're writing, they either take 3 or 4 or 5, 6 months to write. And then they got to go through the editing and the publishing process and blah, blah, blah. I was like, the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to take all the information out of my head. I'm going to get it all out of my head in a 5-day time span. But then once it's all out of my head, then I'm going to go hire a book publisher. I'm going to get it published as fast as I possibly fucking can. And my goal is to have it on the market within the next 3 to 6 months. Like, I don't want to wait a fucking year, 2 years, 3 years. Because like, that's not how I operate. Like, I don't want to play small. I want to play fucking big. And I'm telling you guys, like most of you guys don't struggle with the fact that like this is the thing, right? Like if you listen to my podcast, you understand the importance of having a positive mindset. right? Am I right or wrong in saying that? If I'm right, you're watching this, be like, yep, you're right. Okay. So you understand how important it is to have a positive mindset. But you can have a positive mindset and still have small ass fucking goals, and you're not going to achieve success, the level of success that you could achieve, because you're just not aiming for it. Like if we think about somebody like Roger Bannister, the first person that ever ran a 4-minute mile, he set the intention to run a 4-minute mile, which was something that other people believed was impossible. And he wrote that down. He actually put that on a fucking note and he put that in his shoe. And as he would train, he had 3 minutes and 59 seconds written on a note that he put in his shoe. And as a result of doing that, Roger Bannister ended up running 3 minutes and 59 seconds. And after he did that, it was no longer impossible. And then high school students ended up breaking 4-minute miles that year. So we take something that is quote unquote impossible and we just set that as a target and we just go after it relentlessly. And then sooner rather than later, you're going to wake up, you're going to look at your business and you're like, holy fuck, like the goal that I set for the year, I achieved in 6 months. One of my clients, Riley and Kiara, signed up literally for my VIP coaching program 3 months ago. And when they signed up, they were at $20,000 a month. Their goal is to hit 100K a month in the year. We hit 100K a month within 3 months. Like, bro, you just don't hit those targets unless you set those targets. And I understand if you're listening to this right now and you're like, that seems so far out of reach. That seems so far away from me. There's no way I'll be able to do that. There's no way I could think that big. Okay. Why don't you just 2X whatever your goal is right now? Because like, you're like, oh, I want to hit $5,000 a month. Bro, you could hit that this month. Why not aim for 10K, right? Like, why not just 2X whatever the fucking goal is that you have? Your goal is to have 5,000 followers by the end of the year. Why not aim for 10? Why not double it, right? And like, fuck what everybody else says, dude. Because I think that when you set a goal like that, everybody around you is going to be like, oh, you should be realistic. It's not realistic. That's too hard. That's too big. Set a goal you know you can achieve. This is why everybody ends up fucking average, dude, is that you guys just think way too small. When literally you could do anything that you set your mind to. Once you make a decision on what direction you want to go, you just decide, I'm the fucking one. And it doesn't matter who's around you. It doesn't matter if the friends around you are negative and they don't believe in you. It doesn't matter if your family doesn't support you or doesn't believe that you'll be able to achieve your goals. It doesn't matter if everybody else around you has failed at the one thing that you're trying to do. It does not matter. All of it's irrelevant. All of your power is within your control when you make a decision that you want to achieve something and then you go after it with everything that you fucking have, with literally nothing held back. I promise you, you will achieve success. And I can say that confidently because not only have I done that with my own life, I've worked with over 10,000 coaches at this point. And like, we're talking thousands of them have quit their job and are working full-time online. We're talking 400 of them have hit $10,000 a month. We're talking 20 of them have hit $100,000 a month. We're talking 6 of them have hit $200,000 a month. I know what the fuck it takes to get to that level. And I can promise you, unless you set the goal bigger than you think you can achieve, you will never achieve it. You will end up average. You will end up scraping by because you're just like, you're barely making enough to scrape by right now. So if you made just a little bit more, you'd be happy. Why the fuck don't we set the goal to be financially free? Why don't we set the goal of having so much fucking money that we never look at how much something costs? Why don't we set the goal of being so abundant that when we go for dinner, we tip 100%? Why don't we set the goal of driving our dream car, living in our dream house, living our dream life, retiring our fucking spouses, and then have that as a goal that we spend every single fucking day of our life working towards? That's the only life I want to live. Anything else to me is settling. I refuse to live a life less than my potential. I refuse to live a life where I'm not going all in. I refuse to look at myself in the mirror and honestly say to myself, you're not fucking doing what you need to do. And it's like, so many people resist this mindset because so many people are so content with being fucking average. You're just content being average. You're just content making enough money. And then you go after the thing that you want. You go after making more money. You go after like growing your business, and then you get overwhelmed, and then you get stressed out, and then you get burnt out, and you're like, oh, it's too hard to get to that level. Only crazy people go to that level. You don't need to go to that level to be successful. You can be just average and be okay. Then you get all these business coaches that preach about the fact that they're like, I tried to grow my business to this level, and then I got burnt out, so you shouldn't either. That's fucking whack. Bro, why are we preaching mediocrity on social media? Why are we preaching that it's okay to be fucking basic? Why are we preaching that it's okay to be average? Like, if you want to be great, if you want to be phenomenal, there's no such thing as fucking average. I don't live an average life. I want to be phenomenal in every aspect. I want to be phenomenal in my fitness. I want to be phenomenal in my relationships. I want to make more money. I want to grow on social media. I want to be fucking famous. I want to make an impact. I want to change people's lives. Why can't I do that all? I can't. And if I can do that all, so can you. And the level that you're playing at right now is far below the level that you are capable of playing at. And I know that for a fact because I say that to myself every day, which is why I'm fucking relentless. And any single one of you guys has access to that ability to be able to make a decision on what kind of goal you'd like to achieve and then go after with everything that you have. But you have to set the goal and you have to make the decision that this is what the fuck you want. and stop lying to yourself and stop setting goals that you know you can achieve. The biggest mistake that men or women make is not setting a goal that's too big and failing. The biggest mistake that men or women make is setting a goal that's too small and then hitting it. Why are we setting these small ass fucking goals? Literally limiting your potential on what's possible for your life. It is so much more rewarding to set a goal that is so far out of reach that will be hard for you to achieve and go after with everything that you have and fail time and time and time again going after that thing, only to finally have that moment where you break through and you get to that next level that you used to think was impossible. Like I'm telling you guys, hitting $10 million in a year, I thought was fucking impossible. I set it as a goal. I thought it was fucking impossible. And I knew that I could do it, but I also didn't know how I was going to get there. But I just set it as a goal. Like hitting $1 million a month used to be fucking insane to me. Now I hit it every month, 3 months in a row, back to back to back. It's like these were the goals that I set for myself that I thought were fucking crazy years ago. And now they're just my reality. Why can't you do that? Why can't you? If I'm a dude that used to be a drug addict that slept in a trailer park that fucking had nothing, why can't you do that? I don't understand. I'm no more deserving than you. The only difference is that I made the decision on what kind of life I want to live, and I refuse to let anything, anybody, any force on the planet get in the way of me and my goals. Whereas you get a little bit of negativity online and then you get frustrated. You feel a little bit overwhelmed and then you give up. You set a goal that you want to achieve and then you don't hit it and then you get really upset that it didn't work and then you complain about it to everybody that'll listen. I set a goal that I want to achieve and then I go after it with everything that I have, and when I fail, I get back up and I keep moving forward and I learn the lesson that I'm supposed to learn. I set a goal that I want to achieve, and when I achieve that goal, I fucking celebrate myself. I give myself a pat on the back for being a bad bitch, and then I get back in the arena and I keep moving forward. I come against adversities that are supposed to cripple me, and I overcome them and I champion those adversities, and then I tell the story of how I did it, and my legacy continues to grow. Do not allow failure, negativity, pessimism, self-doubt, like fear of anything to get in the way of you and your goals. Set a fucking big goal that you think is impossible and go after with everything that you have. And in 2 years' time from now, you're going to shock yourself with what you can accomplish. That's a wrap, son. Hope you guys have the best day of your entire fucking lives. Talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, and you want to learn more about how me and my team can help you scale your online fitness business to $10,000 a month, DM me 10K on Instagram at TheRealBrianMark for more information, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help you grow an online coaching business.